Oh, hello YouTubers. Yes, it's Harry Houdini here from Australia. Sorry I'm eating banana. Very good for the gout, especially if they're green. Not too ripe. Here's a good hint. Got gout, cherries, green bananas. You'll be surprised what they do. Anyhow, look, we were working on those Bronco tracks for this BT7 and I haven't finished them. If you've been following my YouTube videos, there has been some drama this week, but we're past that now. So those little tracky links, well, they're in the box, but they're kind of fiddly, and I just wasn't in the mood for that tonight. But I thought, why don't we tackle the turret? Because I know it's only one sprue, and it's not one of the crap ones. You know, if you've been watching the previous videos, you know how much I love sprue C. Yes, Zvezda, you can take sprue C and you can stick it in your borscht. Borscht, I don't know. It's that bloody beetroot soup, you know. Russians, bloody hell. Don't create an international incident, Harry Houdini. And look, Eduard too. Oh, don't get banana all over your bloody PE, Harry Houdini. Look, here we go. Try not to bugger this up before we even started. Eduard, also in their cleverness, I really like Eduard. Eduard in their cleverness have put all the parts I need for the turret on one fret. Okay, so this is something where I won't need to fret, play on words, because I've got one fret of photo-etch, one fret of plastic, don't get upset. I've got my metal barrel, and the beauty is I've already worked, you've seen the previous videos, I worked ahead, I made notes on what is basically a very, very sparse and Russian winter style, yes, instructions from Mr. Zvezda. So you know that's all you get. That's the turret assembly. That's it. Okay, but Eduard, being much more intelligent and beautiful with their Hungarian goulash, they follow exactly the same instructions as the kit that you're building. This is why I love Eduard. You get their PE instructions, it matches the kit. It matches the kit parts, and it matches the order of the instructions. So this section here is Eduard's notes and their instructions for their PE. So I can just follow it, you know, follow the bouncing ball. Whatever's in Zvezda will be in Eduard, and the two can be set side by side. I love that. After all the dramas I had with other PE, I love that. So look, this doesn't look too difficult and too taxing, and I think this might be a good thing for Harry Houdini to do, to de-stress and really enjoy his modelling again. Well, here we are. We're only 30 minutes into the build, and there's problems already. Good old Zvezda. Now look, this is I think you call it the mantlet, and this is the mechanism so that your turret's going to go up and down, right? Okay, now one's working, but it's only working because, like everything I do with most of my kits, I'll dry fret them first, and I'll check, especially if it's a moving mechanism. I'll try and put the parts in before gluing and see if it actually works. This one didn't, and the reason why it didn't, instructions are wrong. So if you're building this kit from Zvezda, have a look here. Okay, now it's clearly marked. You know, there's your mantlet, there's the bottom bit, and here's your rotating mechanism back here, and you know, the lugs, and you've got an A10 and an A9, and you know, there you go. Now, A10's fat. That's a very fat washer. A9's a thin washer. Now I did sort of dry fit, put it together the way they said, and one, the mantlet didn't fit inside. It was off centre. So you'll notice, I mean, you've only got to look at the bloody thing. This side's thin, and this side's thick. Right? So straight away I twigged the washer parts are back and front, and it's only a little thing, but that could trap a new builder. You know, somebody who's just starting out. You can't see bloody things all the way. Imagine you'd gone and, you know, you'd glued them in as you had to and you didn't glue that in, and then suddenly this thing would be buggered. It wouldn't work. Alright, if you had them round the wrong way, which would be an easy enough thing to do. Oh, we've got camera angles here. I'm not even looking at the right thing. Where do I stare? Camera 1, camera 2, director, tell me what to do. Half an hour to clean the flash and the burring off this, and I mean, you really need to. It's a rotating mechanism, and that's what's required, the time. And I'm not too worried about that. You know, I'll happily spend the time farting and fiddling about and filing and sanding and all the rest of it. That's right, I don't mind doing that. I'm a modeller, you know, that's what it's all about. As long as it turns out all right. But there is quite a lot. I thought I saw it when I first looked at this kit, and where are we? See, there you go. There's flash everywhere. Okay, it is quite flashy. It's a flash in the pan. All right, but that's okay. We could deal with that. You know, that's no problem. And I can deal with this because I dry fit. And if you're just starting out in modelling, or you know, you haven't done a lot of armoured vehicles or anything really, if you've got a moving part, in fact any part, dry fit it. You know, sand it, clean it, look at the instructions, see if it actually fits in the bloody hole. Especially in something like this where you've got to have that going up and down. I mean, that's the whole principle of this. If that doesn't bloody work, well, you know, what's the point? You know, you want your little turret to go up and down. Yeah, you want your barrel to point the direction you want, so you can blow up who you want to blow up. That's what it's about. Anyhow, so there you go. If you're building this kit, parts 9 and 10, ask about face. And that's pretty obvious. There's the thin one, there's the thick one, and if you have a look, it's got a thin side, it's got a thick side. So, yes, just like Dragon, check the bloody thing, fit it and see if it works, because you can't trust instructions. So, yeah, so far, not good, but its cross is averted. Not a huge thing. Let's see how we get on. I thought I'd show you a few little things. So there we go, we got that assembly correctly put together and glued, and I've even put in the little machine gun there. Now, I thought I'd show you a little tool. You may not have one of these, you may know, I don't know what you've got. But these are really sort of handy little things. Now, it's an angled tweezers, but it's always shut, and you've got to apply pressure to open it. And it's very good for, you know, you want to hold an itty bitty part. You don't have to keep sort of pressuring to keep it there, and then you lose pressure on your fingers, and boing, it's off there in the carpet monster. It's like a little surgical clamp, I suppose. Doctor, don't burst into my surgery. Yes. So if I'm doing something a little itty bitty like that, that tiny little thing needed sanding and fixing the flash off it and all the bloody rest of it. You know, this is what's going on today. So this allows me to grab the little bugger, and then I can even apply a little bit of pressure, and then I can get in there with my files and my sand, and I can gently do it without it going ping off to the carpet monster. So there you go. You probably already know that. You're probably going, Harry Houdini, get on with it. We know about all this stuff. Well, some people don't. So there you go. That's useful. Another one is to have some sort of jig mechanism. Now, I picked this one up pretty inexpensively, and surprisingly, this one came as a kit. This whole thing was a kit, and you put it together. Which is kind of fun, you know. You're building a model to actually build a tool to use, so you have to put all the springs in and join it all together. That was kind of fun. I like that. It came in sprues, and you cut it all out and fold it all up, and it was a little kit in itself, yeah. But it's handy because that's this one's really good because it'll pose any angle, and it comes with a couple of different sort of alligator guys for holding things. So it's pretty useful for painting. Because you don't have to hold the object. You've got something, as long as you can sort of get an alligator on it, you can get your object in there, and then you can, get in there and do things. So these are handy little things, Now, what we're going to do now is I've got to put a tiny bit of photo-etch in front of that mantlet, right, below where the barrel will go. See the little round hole there? That's obviously where the barrel goes. Below there's part... Zvezda wants you to put in part number A13. But we're not going to do that. No, because Eduard says, no, bugger off part A13 and stick in, I think it's 7 and 8. I don't know, I can't see. I'm looking sideways in an iPad. That's why half the time I don't know what's really going on. And then afterwards, like, oh God, he's gaffed it again. He's called it the wrong number and the wrong scale. But anyhow, look, can you see that? Can you read it? I can't. I haven't got a bloody clue. Anyhow, there's a couple of parts there, right? There they are. Whatever they are. So, Eduard's given us some replacement parts, which are there. Alright, so we're going to put those on. Now, this is handy because I can have it all on my little jig. Alright, jiggity jig, jig, jig. And got my CA glue ready, and if you've seen my previous videos, I've got my bingo tickets, so I can play bingo, you know. 22, two little ducks, yeah. No, I don't. I use this to put all my glue and my gunk on, you see, because when I'm sort of finished for the day, or even if it's getting a little bit messy, they peel off, and usually they're kind of sticky, so you can put the little blighters together like that, right, and then throw them away. See? And they're not going to stick to anything. You won't stick your mustache to your lips or your fingers, as I did one day. Another story. Now, another helpful little hint. With your photo etch, this is what I've found, some people cut them on glass, that's good. Cut it on hardwood, that's good. Whatever you do, don't cut your photo etch on your mat. This mat's got a springiness. These are usually self-repairing mats. They've got a sense of boinginess, okay? So if you've got boinginess with your photo etch, it's all going to bend out of bloody shape and get all absolutely rooted. Yes. So, what I tend to do is, and actually Eduard suggested this, they usually come with little pieces of cardboard, and they're fairly firm. Now, that's betterer. That is really betterer for cutting out your parts. And the other thing I do is I don't bugger up my X-Acto knife. Now my X-Acto knife is there for shaving and cutting and smoothing and doing all the things I want to do with a plastic. I want to bugger that up with a piece of bloody brass photo etch, put bloody chunks and dents in it. No. So I invested in this little photo etch foldy tool a while back, and it's mighty. It's brilliant. It's all I need. It only has a few attachments. You know, you can get them like with gazillion bloody different foldy things and roundy things. Oh look, that's fine. I'm not going to go that crazy. I'm only putting a minimum amount of photo etch on most of the time. You know, I'm not going to build an entire bloody photo etch model. Anyhow, you get a razor blade, you know. So when you're halfway through your model and it's just sort of not working and everything, you cut your wrist. No, don't. Practice safe modelling. No cutting of wrists. Okay, so this is a much better way to cut your photo etch. I know you're supposed to slide it in, use it for all your bending, and I do that. But this is betterer. And you don't mind if you get a little nick or whatever in this. Who gives a rat's? Okay, because you're just going to be folding with it later. And you can always file it to the shape that you want. You're not worried about a perfect sharp edge because you're not cutting. Well, you can cut your photo etch. Anyhow, so your photo etch, right? So I pick out those parts, and you can't see this because you're like a million miles away. So you'll just have to take my word for it. So your photo etch, you can get in nice and close. Right, use your best spectacles or a magnifying glass. You know, I sometimes use my. Where is it? I've got a magnifying glass. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this little sucker, hey? Isn't that good? Yeah, these are good. These are really good. And this one actually's got a little. It's a bit of a show and tell today, isn't it? What did you bring in from school today, little Harry? Yeah. This has got little adjustable dings, and it's got a couple of arms on it, and that's kind of handy too. You could hold a figure in this, use the magnifying glass, and you can actually see the figure behind there for painting. So that's another little doodad. These doodads are not expensive. You can find them at most of your hobby shops, and they really are useful. So anyhow, I would set this up to inspect my photo etch, so I can see it, because being blind as a bloody bandicoot as I am, it's hard. And then using my, lost it, bench is going to get messy, Harry. Using my thing, and make sure you're nice and level, because you really got to be careful. I can get in there, and I find, amazingly, if you're using a magnifying glass, take your glasses off. I know that sort of should be counterintuitive, but surprisingly, at least for me, with my bandicoot eyes, So I can get in there and I can find my part and I can make a nice clean cut with the razor blade. Easy as that. You just take my word for it, you can't see a bloody thing. And I can find the next part, it's getting nice and close. Right, and this cardboard that Eduard provides is firm enough so that that all comes off nice and cleanly. Well, it does if you actually cut the whole bloody thing. Oh, there we go. You know when it's cut because it makes a nice resounding little click. Right, and that's what you want. You want a click. Oh, so there we go. So with a bit of luck, that'll just fall away. And it's being stubborn. That's because I'm doing the video. Alright, now that's one way. Glass is better. If you can get a piece of glass, and usually with rubber feet's a good idea, and cut your photo etch on that, that is better. You really need the hardest surface you can find that won't be abrasive. A piece of hardwood is quite good, but then again you will put dents in the hardwood. But I had a piece of glass, I don't know what I did with it. Oh, I used it somewhere for something. Maybe I stuck it in a model. Who knows? Anyhow, so there you go. Here's a few little fiddly bits and a few little things. So there's, get yourself, if you don't have to be as big as these ones are sort of rather huge. But they do hold just about anything. They're good. You can just grab hold of something and hold it, and then you can even use your tweezers at the other end to do things, and so you can do all kinds of mighty stuff. You can even use it as a little bit of a clamp. Well, that is a bit aggressive. But then you can just put some Tamiya tape on there, give it a bit of softness, you know, silkiness. Anyhow, there you go. Enough rabbiting on about that. These little tools really do help, especially if you're getting down to the fiddly stuff. And yeah, with your photo etch, don't cut it on your mat. You'll bugger it up. Alright, well I'll press on. Now just another little critter that I like to play with, or that I acquired, is looks like a white pencil, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's wax. It's wax. Yeah, that it's a wax pencil. Now what's the beauty of this is, voila. See, there's my little itty bitty photo etch. I can pick it up, I can drop it off. So easy. I mean, if you ever try picking them up with the tweezers, you know, sometimes it's just they ping and off they go, or you end up bending the little buggers or whatever. You know, it's just a friggin' nightmare, and you can't see what you're doing. Whereas this, it's a gentle tap. I can see what it is, you know, and I can go, okay, well that's got to go there. Good drawing, you know. And then I can just roll the pencil to take it off. I've got no glue on there at the moment, and I can pick it up again. Look at that. It's magic, isn't it? Absolutely magic. Are you gobsmacked? I am. I think that's bloody fantastic, that is. So, get yourself, if you're doing some photo etch, and if you've struggled, and I struggled when I first did photo etch, I thought it was bloody horrible stuff. You know, I was having so many dramas. But look, that folded tool was $30, and, you know, they can spend a lot on them, I can tell you. That will last me, and that will do so much. I've built an entire set of stairs and railings for a battleship on there. I've put together fenders, everything. You know, it's all I need. It's terrific. And the way that it can hold it, and then I can use the razor blade to bend it. Oh, it is so much easier than trying to do it with pliers and tweezers. Believe you me. Okay, so if you're going to do some photo etch, invest in a little one of these. You might be able to get it on sort of special or something for $10 or $15. It's worth every cent, because you'll pull your hair out trying to do photo etch the other way, because they won't bend at the correct angles. And burping up my banana now. That's not nice, is it? Sorry about that. Apologise. No burping on this YouTube channel. Now, yeah, get yourself one of these, and they usually come with a razor blade. And the razor blade is brilliant, because your photo etch goes in, you clamp it down, right? You slide your little razor blade in, you fold up, and you get a perfect right angle and a sharp edge, and then your little part comes out, and you can use your little wax pencil, you know, grab the little bugger and CA glue him in, you know. And that's the tricks I've found. And after many a wobbly photo etch gluing session on the grass spay, where my hatches were all, you know, all over the place, look like a drunken sailors, I thought there's got to be a better way, and yeah, there is. Wax pencils, photo etch tool, having yourself jigs to put things on, it makes your life so much easier. And I know these are all things that you've got to invest in, but look, you know, one at a time and go as you go, and they don't cost much. They're less than the price of kits. Stop buying kits. Buy your tools. Okay? Good tools, and your life will be easier and you'll enjoy your hobby more. Alright, that's it. That's enough bloody show and tell tonight. Let's get on with the model making, Harry Houdini. Oh, for God's sake. I'm going to do the barrel. And, if you remember, I bought this rather snappy little turned aluminium one, which is rather nice. It's all hollowed out and everything. That's quite good. Now, the one in the kit wasn't too bad. It's at least it's one piece. It's not one of those horrible ones where you've got half and half and you've got to glue it together and try and somehow round off all the bits and, you know, make it look half decent, which can be a real pain. So it's a single piece barrel, which is not too bad, but that turned aluminium one was $1.80. Why wouldn't you? Yeah, exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plastic part off, then I'm going to cut it there, and then I'm going to have to drill a hole in it to place my aluminium one in. So we might do a nice little speeded up motion segment, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so that took a little bit of mucking around, and there's not a lot of plastic left there. I didn't have to drill too deep a hole because this is going to be CO glued together, but we needed this this end piece to fit into the mantlet here, where you can see the photo etch that I put on before. So that's already that's going to go into there. Hand tied here, so that's going to go into there nicely. Oh, you can't see, can you? There you go. So that's going to go nicely into there now, and it's going to look a treat. That's been a success. That's on there. It's going to require, I'll show you the bad side, where I kind of bent a little bit, but that's okay. I can put my Mr. Surfacer in there and tidy up. But essentially I've got it straight. You want to see I was rolling on the thing. Now, the CO glue I'm using is a slow one, slow zap, and it's a bit thicker, so it can be used as a filler actually, but what I like is I've got a few more seconds to play with a normal super glue, and that allows me to, you know, get it on the toothpick, play around, get it in, and it's not a matter of just putting it on and it's stuck there, because that used to happen when I was first doing the Graf Sphe. I was actually using real super glue. Putting the hatches on, I didn't have my nice wax pencil. I was trying to do everything with you know, tweezers, and you'd go to put it on and stuck at some weird wonky drunk angle. So I learnt you need a slower acting glue, CO glue, and zap's good. And you need all the other little tricks that I showed you before. You noticed I was using my my little clampy tweezers there, which was really handy to hold the stub of the gun barrel in, so that I could then drill. And there you go. So we're at that stage. That's got to, even though that's pretty well set, I'm going to let it sit, because it does take a little bit longer, the slow zap stuff. I mean, that'd be already, you know, you could stick it on something and just sit there and it wouldn't really fall off. But because I'm going to need to put a little bit of surface around and sand that, I'm going to put it aside. So what I'll do while I'm waiting is I can continue on with the assembly of the turret. There's not much to do. It shouldn't be too hard. Well, there we go. The turret's starting to take shape. Now I've got a bit of Mr. Surfacer in there on the join where I've attached the aluminium barrel to the plastic, and that'll sand up nicely. But the barrel's only dry fitted in there, and that's why I use the original base part there, because that means that fits in its little hole, and everything, you know, is tickety-boo. So there you go. So we've got a little bit of photo etch on there. There's heaps more to do. I mean, this photo etch from Eduard is quite comprehensive, and there's a whole interior to go in there. which I'm hoping is going to be possible because there was a little bit of a stumbling block. The sides of the turret, they're kind of wobbly. If you remember when we were doing earlier parts, we were doing the body and they were wobbly, and that's why I actually Tamiya taped on the top, because remember, better if it's a box. So I had to put the top on, even though really I want that to be removable so I can see the nice interior. And I'm afraid there's a tiny bit of glue at the front there that's, well, cement, plastic cement, that's probably going to try and attach itself. But I may be able to, once it's all set, gently get the knife in there and work that off. At least we hope so. But anyhow, for now, we have a nice barrel in our BT7. So let's leave it there. That's enough for one night, isn't it? Goodness gracious, I think so. So it's hooroo from Harry Houdini and goodbye from down under.